1685 AD, 5579 AM. King Louis XIV of France, in the Edict of Nantes, declared France to be a Catholic state, a bad move for the nation, for 200,000 Protestants fled the country, among them the nation's most skilled artisans and people of affluence. Most of these people made their way to North America. Like the earlier English colonies, North America was being peopled with Europeans escaping religious persecution. King James II ascends the English throne, and like a dictator, he recalls the New England and Middle Colony charters, violating constitutionalism and the sanctity of contracts. 1. March of the Titans. 2. A Patriot's History of the United States. 1686 AD, 5580 AM. A comet is recorded by Europeans in September. King James II of England created a centralised political state over the English colonies called the Dominion of New England. The colonial legislatures were dismissed, town meetings forbidden, and the militias were forbidden to operate without the approval of the King's appointee in Boston. This resulted in the colonial rebellions which lasted until 1689. The Dominion of New England came to nothing. 1. Introduction to Comets. 2. A Patriot's History of the United States. 1687 AD, 5581 AM. A terrible quake at Callao, Peru, results in massive loss of life and property. The famous Greek structure, the Parthenon, was ruined by the Italians over 21 centuries after the Greeks erected it. The Parthenon was adorned with reliefs of the War of the Titans and Giants, the Trojan War, as well as of Nereus the Aegean Noah. William Stukeley, born this year, an antiquarian interested in Stonehenge, who died in 1765. Intriguingly, this parallels the 1687 BC damaging of the Stonehenge complex. During the earthquakes that transpired, as Phoenix transited between Earth and the Sun, the rebuilding of the site being Stonehenge 3, Sir Isaac Newton's discoveries are published in his Principia Mathematica, a text still regarded as one of the greatest scientific works ever composed. In it, he predicts that the Earth is non-spherical, which he is correct. This led to the discovery of the equatorial bulge. 1. Ancient Mysteries. 2. God's Laughter. 1688 AD, 5582 AM. Emanuel Swedenborg was born at Stockholm, Sweden, a truly remarkable spiritual giant and prolific writer who died in 1772. 1689 AD, 5583 AM. American English colonials staged an armed insurrection in Boston against British Governor Sir Edmund Andros of New York on the 108th day of the year, April 18. The English Civil War between the Whigs and Tories resulted in King James II being exiled while Parliament drafted the Declaration of Rights, an historical document declaring that the King and Queen was not supreme but shared authority with the English legislature and the courts. Free speech and the right to petition was made, and excessive bail and cruel and unusual punishment forbidden. This document also upheld the right of English Protestants to keep and to bear arms. It was these concepts that would later galvanise into the American Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, the US Constitution exactly 100 years later in 1789, and the Bill of Rights. 1. The Patriot's History of the United States. 1690 AD, 5584 AM. The astronomer Cassini observed what appeared to be a comet colliding into Jupiter through his telescope. A comet would again collide into Jupiter in 1994 AD and be photographed. 1. Introduction to Comets. 1691 AD, 5585 AM. The Aztecs unwillingly collected their sacred books and brought them to the Spanish bishop Núñez de la Vega, who promptly burned them all. The Roman Catholic authorities had already done this to the Inca and the Maya. 1. The Problem of Atlantis. 1692 AD, 5586 AM. An earthquake struck Port Royal, Jamaica, which was a haven for thieves and pirates. smugglers and slavers, a black market paradise where buyers could purchase stolen ships and even cargoes. This was one of the busiest ports in the West Indies. The quake sent a tidal wave into the port and city, and the earth vibrated, opening up under the feet of many people, swallowing them up to their necks before the ground began compressing, squeezing the victims to death. An unusually putrid rain fell upon Germany. At Salem, Massachusetts, 143 people were accused of witchcraft after wildly circulating rumours, but 19 were actually hanged on what came to be called Witches' Hill, and one man was pressed to death. Later, all of their convictions were reversed after they were dead, subsequent to new inquiries. Some blame the popular hysteria over witchcraft at that time on Cotton Mather, an imaginative writer, the son of the preacher Increase Mather. The Salem witch trials has since become a world-famous event. 1. Pirates, Terror on the High Seas. 2. Commentaries on the Occult Philosophy of Agrippa. 1693 AD, 5587 AM. An earthquake in Catania, Italy, killed 60,000 people. 1694 AD, 5588 AM. The Bank of England started a privately owned business aloud because it loaned a lot of money to King William III of England with the agreement that the bank could issue notes to the full extent of its capital. This bank created non-existent money from the interest it received on monies loaned that it had created using paper notes. Edward Halley proposed to the Royal Society that Noah's flood, 2239 BC, had been caused by the collision of a comet into Earth. 80 years after their published presence in 1614, the Rosicrucians founded a colony in North America, where Pennsylvania is today. Their artistic building in Ephrata, Ephraim, still stands today. François-Marie Arouet was born in Paris, known to the world as the philosopher Voltaire. 1. The Synagogue of Satan. 2. Ancient Civilizations. Ancient Mysteries. 3. Gods of Eden, Bramley.